Yes, everyone, what's going on? My name's Stephen Howson. This is a bit of a Q&A style podcast because, well, let's be honest, there's not enough real topics that you can go, yeah, we'll make a podcast out of that and that'll be fine. So what we've done is we've grabbed Omar, we've grabbed Ronaldo, and we're just going to see what questions you've got, what sort of stuff is burning. We'll ask these two. But please be aware, we're going to have to ask Ronaldo about 15 minutes before he needs to answer because he's currently on mobile data. And honestly, it's shocking. So can we ask for patience with Ronaldo and his shitty internet?
Dedication to the cause. Dedication to the cause.
Right, start getting your questions in. I'm going to jump over on Twitter because I did see some over there. But let us all know if you've got any proper questions. And we'll bang them on stream and we'll get them answered. But here's the first one from C792. Seeing that 5 subs can now be made, I think it's stupid to change the rules during the season. It's either safe to play or it's not safe to play. What's your take?
I mean,
that's obviously if they're playing the games in quicker succession and shorter time period where it's more strain on the players and legs, then 5 subs is a decent adjustment to make. I don't understand why it's that big of a drama.
Yeah, I agree with Ronaldo. I just don't really see the big drama around like having 5 subs. I mean, I guess the argument is that more players will be like fit and like fresh to come on and stuff, but I just don't see the big deal around it. I mean, the Bundesliga have done it, and I haven't really seen much change in like the way teams have performed as well there. So, like, yeah, I just don't really see the big thing around it.
One thing that I would say about it is I agree that it's not really on to be changing things in the middle of a season. And sometimes you just have to roll with the punches and obviously bringing football back. It's just one of them, and it's difficult to do if you're not going to amend something because obviously life can't really have continued the way it does, and we all want to see things resolved and fixed and all that lot. But what I am going to do is I'm going to definitely make sure that I tell any Scouser, you only won because they had to change the rules. First of all, it was VAR, and then when that didn't work, we had to give you 5 subs. So I am going to find some usage, so we say, for the 5 subs. But yeah, ultimately, it don't really fucking matter, does it? Everybody gets it. It's not like, we had all these strategies for 3 subs and now we've got to use 5. Oh, okay. Gary Connolly says, between now and January, do I think Gallo gets more goals than Marshall in all comps? Omar, what do you reckon?
It depends really. Doesn't I mean, like, Gallo was on fire before all of this shit happened. Like, he was banging.
What's happened?
What?
What's happened?
Yeah. I can't hear a word Omar's saying.
No, that one was on about. He said before all this shit happened, I was trying to be funny and you both killed it. Cheers, lads. Appreciate
it. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right, nice one. What's it? Yeah, Gallo, he was on fire before like all this shit happened. But like Marshall, I guess it depends really because Marshall's obviously the main choice, obviously for Ollie. So if he's going to be playing more Marshall, then surely he's going to be getting more opportunities to score goals. But I guess, say if Tony got injured and then Gallo came in, I could see Gallo banging in the goals if he was continuing the form that he was showing before all of this shit happened. Yeah.
Naldo, what are you saying?
I'm saying Martial gets more goals than Gallo because he's going to get more minutes. And obviously we've seen the statistics and how much better and prolific Martial's been in the short space of time since Bruno Fernandes has come back. So if we keep Pogba and you include that in the mix, more creativity and more chances created for him. We know Martial's a good finisher when he gets there. So I think Martial will score more goals, I'm safe to say.
Have you seen
Gallo does as well.
Have you boys seen the stuff about Kai Havertz? The rumours about him.
I'm sure there'll be a question about him, so let's talk about Havertz in a bit. On Gallo, I would have said if the season would have continued as it was going, with obviously all competitions played the way they are played, I would have said I would think that Gallo would have ended up with more goals. purely because of the fact that I think he would have played in the lesser competitions. But now where it's going to be probably league or league and a little bit of FA Cup, and then Europa League once all that's completed, I think that it'll probably be Marshall, because I think we're going to go with our strongest 11 for the domestic stuff. And then once that's wrapped up, we will then be going with our strongest 11 to try and win the Europa League, because there's absolutely no need to rotate in that whatsoever. And obviously having 5 subs, you would expect that people are going to get a little bit of game time as well. Hippo is asked, are Hippos allowed in Carrington or on match days? I'm going to say no. Dara says,
probably not.
Is a pancake a sandwich?
You can definitely make it as a sandwich, definitely. Because like, if you put
something in between it.
Say for example, because like we like stuffing our pancakes, don't we? So like I like a cheeky bit of Nutella on my pancakes, and you can have like a Nutella sandwich, can't you? So surely you can say like a pancake is a sandwich if you're going on that logic.
I mean, these are the questions that people are tuning in for.
Thoughts on
the audio in the Bundesliga that'll be implemented in the Premier League for atmosphere. I think they're giving you the choice, aren't you? Whether you want to have snide audio or if you want to have like what's actually happening, like hearing the linesman cough and stuff. Which one are you going to go for? Are you going to go for artificial noise, or are you going to go with it being authentic?
Authentic. Got to be authentic.
Yeah.
Part of artificial sounds and noises and etc. It's just going to sound a bit cheesy and a bit gimmicky for my liking.
I think it adds something to it though, because I've watched matches which have been silent and strange, and I've watched matches with a bit of artificial noise. And there was one that I was showing Janine when I got up on Sunday morning. The NRL had fake crowd noise played over the commentary, and Australian commentators are off their tits anyway. Like, so it kind of worked, like the noise of the thing. And I was like, they were showing a highlight, and they've changed the angle of the TV camera for rugby in Australia. Instead of being this, it's now this. So you don't see the crowd on the opposite side; it sees more of the grass. And I thought, that's an interesting take. So you had to watch the replay of this try till they cut to a sideline angle where you actually saw the empty crowd, but you can hear the crowd cheering as he goes over the line, and it fucks with your mind because you're like, yeah, wait a minute. So I'm going to go with noise, I think. Yeah, I think I'm going to take the noise.
Would you like to see that in the Premier League then? That sort of thing? We're
going to see it. They're giving you the choice.
Oh, really?
I think it's going to be a red button thing. Do you want the noise or do you not want the noise?
Oh, that's well cool, to be fair. Yeah, I think I prefer the noise, to be honest. Yeah.
Utkarsh says, if you only get one transfer this season, who should it be?
Sancho. It's got to be Sancho.
Go ahead, Omar.
Yeah, it's got to be Sancho. The reason I say that is because we've been missing a right midfielder for so long, I think. And like, if you get a front three of Marcus, Tony, and Sancho, then that's arguably competing with like the strongest front three in the league.
Well, look at what the backup three is: James, Greenwood, and Gallo.
Yeah, exactly. It's decent. Yeah, it's decent depth.
Got to be Sancho, really, innit? Has to be.
I'll probably say I think it was a clean sweep. That I don't know if we're going to get a clean sweep on many of these questions, but that's one for me there. Clean sweep.
I'm still stuck on Pancake.
Did you get a reply to that Snapchat the other day?
What me?
Yeah.
Nah, he never told me. He never mentioned it back, but it was just a laugh face. Ah ha ha ha. We need your help, and then I've not been told. I can find out though.
Okay. Junior says, is Ethan Laird better than Delo and Shaw? I think he's better than Delo.
Yeah, better than Delo. Potentially could be better than Shaw as well.
Yeah, I think he's got to prove it in the first team.
I'm not seen enough of Ethan Laird actually to make that decision. But if he's better than Delo, then he should be near enough the first team squad.
He's certainly got the potential to be well better, but like fulfilling it and having it are totally different, aren't they?
Doesn't Delo give you a bit of like failed winger vibes?
A little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
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 He does a little bit when you watch him.
To be fair, I think he's got a finish on him. Like, there's been some training videos like going round, and he's been putting a lot of balls top bins. So like, I think he's got a decent finish on him, don't I? But
I can give you a little bit of a snifferoonie on that. The guy that he's been training with is from Droylsden, and he's going to be training Paddock FC. And we're going to go down and film a promo for him with Bruno and Fred and Delo there. So as soon as we're allowed to have like more than a couple of us on site, we're going to do that. But yeah, he's training down at Avro in Oldham. That's where he's going. So last week I dished out a load of Paddock shirts to current and ex players. I think I'm going to get a couple more made up for Fred and Bruno and Delo to go give them. Yusuf says, when's McCullough and Howson coming back? We're recording one tomorrow. So tomorrow, I guess, maybe, or Sunday. Oh, here's one. Would you consider sacking the coaching staff and not Ollie? I saw this. Someone mentioned it before. In fact, yeah, he's asked the same question in the Patreon group, in the Legends group on Facebook as well, and meaning like Carrick and McKenna rather than Ollie. What's your thoughts on that?
Ronaldo,
I don't know. It starts at the top, really, innit? It's like the coaching staff obviously have their job. They obviously contribute, but you set a precedent in football where it's the actual manager that takes the flak. So I'm not sure what sacking the coaching staff instead of the actual manager is going to do. It might change a little bit of the dynamics, but you can't, as a manager, blame, like you can't lose games, etc., as a manager that is under pressure would do, and then he's going to blame his coaching staff and keep the job.
Yeah.
It sounds a bit backwards to me.
I want to know the reasons why that's
a
thing is to get rid of them.
Yeah.
I think Ollie would get rid of them if he wasn't happy with them.
Yeah. But
I don't think he was under pressure to take anybody that's part of the squad.
Yeah, and I guess as well, like the reason he's part of their staff is because he wants them to be there as well. And also as well, like I don't know if you guys follow, like there's this Twitter account called The Coach's Voice, and then I think Declan McKenna was on it one time. And I personally thought the way he conducted himself was like proper professional. He's obviously had a lot of experience, and he's come from a background where it's not the kind of normal pathway you follow as a coach where you've had a playing career and you've gone into coaching after. He kind of didn't really have that, and he's kind of followed a pathway where he's just listened to the experience, got it behind him, and worked his way up through hard work and dedication. And I think that says a lot about him as an individual. And if you've got people like that on your team that are hard working, that's kind of what you want to implement Ollie's philosophy, because that's what he wants from his players as well. But yeah, that's my opinions of it. But I think Carrick also as well. I think he had experience from Jose. And I think Jose, I mean, whatever you say about what he did at United, you can't underestimate his record previously from winning Champions Leagues, from winning Premier Leagues as well. And that obviously Carrick would have equipped some of those skills he's learned from Mourinho. And I think potentially he could be a fantastic coach in the future. Yeah.
That's it. I mean, we don't fully know. I mean, a couple of the people I've spoken to, players and stuff like that, are trying to find out what's Carrick's job, what's McKenna's job, what's Mike Phelan's job. And the lay of the land that I can kind of get the gist of is Mike Phelan's sort of there doing more of your ambassadorial liaison and sort of looking ahead at signings and liaising with the scouting team, and almost like a director of football built into the coaching staff. He's not putting cones out and running sessions. That's Kieran McKenna very much doing that, is the guy that's running the sessions. Michael Carrick seems to be a little bit withdrawn from that. He's more of the mentor type person in the squad, helping people get prepared, that kind of thing. But McKenna also is doing individual sessions. So like we've seen Bruno and Delo and Fred doing with RH, McKenna's also putting a couple of those sessions on for people who want to stick around at Carrington and get those sessions done as well. And I always like it when I hear, you never hear of a player doing extra work and it never paid off. Generally. You always hear, like, all of the greats, they've always done extra work and it usually leads to something, doesn't it? Usually. I've seen Ross in the comments down there has just put, do I still criticize the shooting drill that they have in the build-up to every game? Absolutely. Yeah, I don't like it. Yeah. Ultimately, I don't fucking like it. You got an issue with that, Steve? You what?
You got an issue with that, Steve? I didn't even know that.
Are you taking a piss?
I didn't even know you hated the little 1-2 shoot before a game.
Is he taking a piss at me? I can't tell if he's being sarcastic sometimes. I really can't. He's on some sort of like fucking ninja level of like sarcasm that I don't know that he's being sarcastic sometimes.
I know. It can be like that, but I'm actually being truthful. I'm genuinely asking. I've never heard you say it before.
Are you taking a piss?
Or maybe I forgot. But go on and detail it to me. Why do you hate that drill so much?
Right. I like data in football. I don't have the exact one here, but looking at expected goal philosophy, expected goals as a measurement, as a zero-sum measurement of goals that are scored, will give you the likelihood of where you're shooting from based on a couple of extenuating circumstances going on in terms of defensive positioning, the type of shot, was it header, is it foot, is it body, all that sort of stuff taken into account gives you a reflective percentage of everything. I don't like predictive expected goals. I think that's a bit fucking science fiction, a bit woo, right? But reflective expected goals, this player took that shot from this place, that had an expected goals of X. I do like that as a thing. And as a general rule, this is every single year that you get more goals to analyze, it refines the expected goal system and makes it more accurate. Where United shoot from in those training sessions, there's never a defense. There's a goalkeeper stood on his line and you're getting a good second or so on the... I mean, there's no defense, but you're still getting like a good second. Usually you'll see the player get their head up. They'll do a little stutter before they make their mark and they'll run onto the ball. That they're not getting that in a game. And also you're not shooting from 25 yard out in a game unless you're Andreas Pereira, when you definitely are. Definitely missing. But the circumstances are not the same. Why aren't we working on something more specific? And I'll be putting my money where my mouth is, because when Stretford Paddock FC begins, our warm-up drill will reflect the sort of sequences of play that I want to see us execute on the pitch. And I don't want to see... Like, here's the drill. For those who know that, I have put it on video before. It's essentially what you would do at under 10s. Everybody lines up in front of the goal. The keeper stays on his line. You'll have a coach with a line of players 5 yard away from him. He'll have his back to goal. You'll play a ball into the coach. He'll knock it left or right, and then you'll run onto it and shoot it. How many times are you doing that in a game with no defense in the goal? He's like, you're not. It's fucking useless. And actually, it might even encourage you to pull a muscle by trying to fucking welly a ball from 25 yard out.
No, I can't lie, Steve. I've had a quad tear 4 weeks doing that drill, but in training though. So there's another.
That at Liverpool?
To your
was that Oldham or Liverpool?
That was at Oldham. Literally Friday before a game. It was at the end of the training session and we was doing that drill. Some of us, you could decide whether you wanted to do it or not. And I've knocked it. He's knocked it to the side. I've twanged it. And then I was like, shit. Felt something on my quad. Got a scan. Quad to grade 2.
Am I being harsh here, or is it a fucking bullshit drill?
I think the only argument for it is obviously you're shooting. So you're practicing your shooting technique now, regardless of scenario, but I kind of get where you're coming from. You don't really get that many, especially the little stutters. Everything's a bit more snapshotty in game than that warm-up suggests. When it's a knock to the side, you kind of shuffle, look up, look where you want to put it, and then strike it.
Yeah, these shots, where these shots are being taken from, on the expected goals model, they're about a 4% shot, which means that there's a 96% chance that you're not scoring from that shot, which is fucking ridiculous. For it to be considered a big chance, it has to be a 30% or greater opportunity to score. Now, a 30% chance is what I would consider a Raheem Sterling chance usually. You know the one, where it's been a check back to the penalty spot. It's a first-time pass into the net from in front of the goal, anywhere between 6 and 20 yard out, really, but more like 15 yard out. That's a 30% chance. To get, like, you would think on the line is a 100% chance, but it's not. If you get, like, in the middle of the 6 yard box, in the middle of the goal, that's still only like an 80% chance of going in, because there's still usually a defender in the way on the line or a goalkeeper on the line. So, it's a zero-sum maths. They've literally done the maths and said from every shot from that little, tiny little square, this is how many of them go in. This is how many of them go in. This is how many of them go in. Now, occasionally you're going to get one of these shots is going to fly in, and it's like Ronaldo's against Porto in 2007, where you go, fuck me. And that was probably a 1% shot.
That was mad.
Probably.
That goes in and gets repeated on highlights. Now you've got people trying them shots. But if you've got a team that's taking 20 shots from those areas, you're probably only having, at most, 30 attacks in a match. Usually. About 30 attacks. Certainly that get into the final third. If 20 of your fucking shots are 4% chance shots, you're wasting possession more often than not, way more often than not. Like almost 100% of the time, you're wasting those shots when you could take an extra pass, an extra touch, get closer into the box, increase the chances of that going in by 10, 15%, and increase your chances of winning the match. That's
aren't there some teams, though, in the past, the kind of ticky-tacky teams, like Barcelona, even Arsenal when they play well sometimes, hurts me to say. Haven't they been accused sometimes of being a little bit trying to walk the ball into the net? Because that's what you're basically describing. Because sometimes when you're watching football and then
it's still different because you can still. I'm not encouraging passing. I'm encouraging getting closer to the net. So that can be dribbling. That can be a through ball. That doesn't necessarily mean lots and lots of... And actually, with what we're about to do, I mean, me and you've had a bit of a conversation about what I'm expecting, especially from you as a winger at Paddock. We're not looking to have a lot of build-up. I'm looking to go very direct because of the level that we're playing at. It's almost going to be a barring for one centre-half to pass to the other centre-half. We're not going to go defender, midfield. It's going to go defender, midfield. It might go midfield before it goes to attack. But we're trying to get into the final third in 4 or 5 passes at most. I don't think people are going to park the bus against us. I don't think. So you've not got to worry about that. Barcelona, we're not going to be good enough to be able to have 15 passes in the D. We're just not. We're going to be looking to try and put the ball into the final third and get on it, whether that's from a cross, a through ball, someone dribbling. It's not an exact science. It's more of a mindset of when we get 25 yard out, that doesn't mean pull the trigger. That means find the next ball into a goal scoring opportunity. And hopefully it's just about making people make better decisions when they're on the ball. That's it. Martin just said, are we able to live stream Paddock games? Check this out. I only found this out last month. No is the short answer, but the long answer is every single Saturday League team is not able, or every single Saturday League team is, held to the 3 p.m. blackout. So whether you're Premier League or all the way down playing on dog shit alley like we are, you're not allowed to live stream Saturday kickoffs at that time. Friendlies, Sunday league matches, if we do a Sunday league team, stuff like that, we can live stream. But any of our league games are actually held to the same rules that the Premier League are by the FA, which is mad.
That is mad. What the fuck?
So even if we had the personnel, the staff, the technology, the Wi-Fi at the ground, if we had all of them things, still wouldn't be allowed to do it. We can record it, and believe me, yeah, we will be recording it, and we'll be making loads of content around it. But yeah, we can't actually put that out. Well, let's get a couple more questions. Bruno takes shots from outside the box. Yes, he does. Go and look at what his shot conversion is. It's very good, but it's nowhere near what you would expect someone who was taking shots closer in would be. In fact, should we get it up? Let's find out.
Yeah.
He has got a shot in him, though.
What about Ruben Neves?
Oh,
You're
Ruben
ridiculous.
Neves. Oh, don't get me started on Ruben Neves. I love that man. Oh, he's got a wicked.
There's always outliers.
Is he left or right-footed? Ruben Neves.
Neves is left, isn't he?
Yeah, I thought he was left. Yeah, he's got a wicked left foot on him. Oh, some of the volleys he scored outside the box are just a joke. Who else has got? Who would you put over, out of curiosity, who do you guys put over set pieces now? United.
Right, here we go. So Bruno Fernandes, his shot conversion is 14%.
I think Omar's forgot.
What?
No, I was saying I think Omar's forgotten that I've not been able to hear him once throughout the whole thing.
All right, I'll have to relay anything that Omar's saying then. Omar was saying, who do you have on set pieces? But 14% is Bruno's conversion rate. Hardly Deadeye. Like, Deadeye is 25, 30%.
Yeah.
So, Ronaldo, who are you having on set pieces, Omar was asking? As his internet died. As he died. As he died.
As the audio's gone shocking.
He's gone.
All right, in the meantime, Yusuf is saying the 3 p.m. rule has been abolished by the time being for UEFA, but it's definitely coming back, isn't it? And obviously, we don't play in a season at the moment. We'll be in next season, and when that's back, when fans are back in the stadium, the 3 p.m. blackout will also be back in. What's Pereira's? Do we even want to look at what Pereira's is?
Don't look at Pereira's.
All right, fuck it. Let's have a look at what Pereira's is this year. I don't think it's going to be good. I don't think it's going to be good.
I want to see Fred's.
Fred's is bad as well. I think Pereira feels more egregious. Let's have a look. Shots, total.
What's McTominay's? He scored quite a few out of the box this season as well.
Right, what do you reckon? What do you reckon Andreas Pereira's conversion rate is?
3%.
Yeah, it's low. It's low.
4%. Oh. See, this is what I'm talking about. There you go. Actually, most of Pereira's shots are a 4% shot, and he's got a 4% conversion rate. Am I fucking having a laugh here or what? For those asking what league we will be in, we get the confirmation at 7:00 tonight. To say I'm excited is a fucking understatement. And I'll be doing some news on it tomorrow. So keep an eye out for that.
What was Scott McTominay's conversion rate out of
curiosity? You reckon that, okay, I don't know if you've answered this already, but who do you reckon has the best conversion rate?
I know who has the best conversion rate.
Premier League.
Who has the best conversion rate?
Oh, right. I know for United. I know for United who's got the best conversion rate.
I don't even know. I'd say Marco.
Rashford.
Yeah. Who's it?
Think. You know who? You just need to think. Marcus is second. Let me just go and change the lighting on this. I've gone really dark.
I was gonna say Wamao.
I'd probably say
Greenwood.
Greenwood.
Yeah, Greenwood is a shout.
It's Greenwood. Yeah, it's Mason. I
Greenwood.
can't believe it took you fucking weeks and weeks to come up with it. It's
Odions
isn't bad.
Greenwood second.
I don't think there's enough to really compare him with the rest of them. But yeah, it was Greenwood. Then it was Marcus, surprisingly, and then Martial was third behind him.
Bruno's must be quite high because he's
We
like
just have 14%.
14.
14.
Fuck's sake.
It's because he shoots from everywhere. Now, some of them go in, and a lot of them go in compared to
outside. Yeah,
he does better than what. In fact, let's have a look what his expected goals should be, because penalties are 0.71 for expected goals. So 71% of the penalties should go in. Let's have a look.
Yeah.
I think there's probably something in us doing like a regular data show, isn't there, where we just look at some of the stats of stuff, because I think it's fucking fascinating myself.
Yeah.
All right, let's have a look. Who do we want to look at then?
Do Scott.
We was gonna do 1 sec. I was gonna do, what's he called? Bruno's. Where's Bruno? What, am I being blind here? Where is he? Bruno Fernandes. There we go. So his expected goals is he should have only got 1.5 expected goals, and he's got 2. And he should have only got 1 assist, and he's got 3. So he's outperforming what is expected of him, which means he's very high quality. The places that he's getting assists and goals from is fucking very good. That's usually a good way to measure it, if they're under what they're expected. If they're over, conversely, like if you say there's a striker that's taking loads and loads of shots, like Raheem Sterling was at one point over his expected goals because he was getting a lot of big chances and spooning them. But I think it's leveled off a little bit now. That's one way you can say someone underneath it. What's with Arsenal fans being deluded about Martinelli supposedly being better than Greenwood? They haven't had a world-class player for so long that they don't know what the foot one looks like. That's the top and bottom of it.
They absolutely...
He's so overrated.
They got a love affair with Martinelli, but I think it's Greenwood related.
McTominay. Do we want to see McTominay's conversion rate?
Yeah.
Right, let's have a look. Shots total.
He scored a couple outside the box, hasn't he?
Yeah, he scored a couple bangers. Scored against Arsenal. City one was decent, even though it was an empty net.
14%, exactly the same as Bruno's.
Mad. What's Pogba's?
Fuck's sake. Pogba's barely played this year.
Wonder what is expected.
He's not scored either, so 0% is what it is.
What McTominay's expected goal?
McTominay's expected goals. Oh yeah, that shouldn't have gone in, should it really?
Goal.
All right, McTominay, he's on 1.99, so 2 expected goals, and he's got 3. But he should be on 1.42 expected assists, and he's only got 1. So he's under on his assists, but obviously he can't have 1.5 assists.
It's a bit of a final ball issue.
Joseph's got a comment there. Axel back fit. Do we expect him to get some minutes? Omar, what do you reckon? You think Axel get some minutes?
I hope so. I think when he was in the pre-season, when we saw him on the tour, well, you'll know about this, Steve, because you're out there. I thought he was the best centre back that we had out there. He was brilliant, and I think he's been unlucky with injuries this season, obviously, but the same with Eric Bailly, really. I think he's been unlucky, but at the same time, he's injury prone. But if you place Axel next to like a leader that like Harry Maguire, I think he would excel. And I think the centre back Harry Maguire he's kind of in contrast in the way he performs with Axel. Axel's quite fast. Didn't he used to play as a wing back, Axel, didn't he?
Yeah, but he's never been good there.
So, I mean, I think Axel's got the pace to coincide with Maguire. And I do hope we see some minutes, because I think he's got the potential to be a top quality centre back. Yeah. Don't know what you think.
It's a weird one because the injuries have just massively halted his development this season. And because of those injuries, we're not really seeing who he is and who he could be. He had a couple of injuries, but mostly was fine throughout the season at Villa. And he's just been really unlucky, but he's getting to the point now where he really has to play regular football, whether that's for us or elsewhere. I'd love him to get the opportunity because I remain skeptical on the true ability and potential of Lindelof. I don't know. What are you saying, Ronaldo? Axel? You see him starting anytime soon?
Yeah, I think he possibly could. There was a little period where Lindelof's place was becoming a little bit under pressure. Fans weren't happy with him. It seemed like Ollie wasn't completely happy with him. But we don't have much depth in that position, and that's where Axel, I think, should have come in a little bit more in the season to begin with. Obviously, injuries and that kind of prevented that. But if he's fit during the restart, especially with the games coming in quick succession, I can see him getting a start or two, definitely. Obviously, if you come from being... He was player of the year for a promotion side, so it shows the caliber of ability he's got.
Where does Bay fit into this?
It depends. I think it depends really, because without Bay, we've when he came in that first season under Jose, I thought, oh my god, we've got a proper good centre half with us here. But he's just been hampered with injuries all the time. I know he came back a bit and he looks solid. When he did come back, I mean, that performance against Chelsea, I thought he played really well. I think it was in the League Cup, or was it the Premier League? I can't remember. But he played really well against them, and that kind of symbolised what Eric Bailly's career at United so far. He's got so much potential, but he's just been injured consistently. And he has to get fit. He has to get fit in order to have a future at the club. That's my opinion on him anyway.
Wow, Bay has averaged, is that right? Oh, wrong one. That one. Bay has averaged 11 90-minute games in 3 seasons. It's just not enough, is it?
No. That's the problem.
That's quite bad.
Injured so much.
Galvatron Cartman says, should we loan Mengi out into what league? I would say yes, he's physically ready. Probably below the Championship though, League 1, League 2. I think more. I don't think we like loaning out our second year under 18s, and I don't know why. Because I think that would be a good time for people to go at the right club. Maybe if it's like a local club, like you can't really do it now, but Bury, maybe Wigan in the past, those sorts of places where they could probably still train at Carrington a couple of days a week, and then do team specific stuff with their loan club. I don't know. Any thoughts on that, lads? Would you like to see younger lads going out on loan?
I'll let Ronaldo go.
Go for it, Ronaldo.
Yeah, I'm a bit 50-50 when it comes to loans. I do think loans are the best way for a young player to progress, etc. But usually when you go down to the leagues, such as League 1 and League 2, it's a bit of a baptism of fire. In a sense, they may not get the opportunities that they need. Usually it's managers that aren't even responsible or involved in the fact that you've been loaned there, and their jobs are literally on the line, game in, game out, week in, week out. It's a lot for them to rely on a loanee, or even to trust a loanee player or youth, especially in a league that's so physically and mentally demanding. So usually when I'm thinking about loans, it's got to definitely be the right club. You can't just say we'll loan them out. You just got to make sure that the certain minutes guaranteed, the certain things guaranteed, and it's going to be the right place for them to develop. That's my take on it.
Yeah, I agree with Ronaldo that I personally think League 1, League 2 is a bit iffy in terms of developing your career, but with Championship, if you pick the right side, then I think, because it's such a competitive league, the Championship, arguably one of the most competitive leagues in the world, and if, as Ronaldo said, if you get the right side, then I think And you've seen a lot recently with a lot of the younger players, like Tammy Abraham, for example. He was on loan at loads of championship sides before. Dan James, he was at Swansea. He showed his potential. I think the championship is probably the minimum league, I'd say, for a good loanee.
Yeah, I think there's something in loans, but you have to be managed carefully. Like I know Borthwick Jackson had it in his contract. He had to get 75 minutes a week when he went to Wolves. He plays a couple of weeks out of the team. I think he might have been suspended after getting a card. And then new manager comes in because they went on a poor run of form. And the new manager's like, I don't fucking sign you. You go, fuck what it says in your contract. United hadn't budgeted for him coming back, and you're like, fuck me, he's on a couple of grand a week. It's hardly fucking Sanchez coming back from loan, is it? So United hadn't budgeted for him coming back, so United left him out to dry almost at Wolves, and you just think, we have to be better. You know, the Cameron Borthwick Jackson that came through in Louis van Gaal's season, if you'd have watched him 6 games into his career and gone, right, got to make a decision now, yes or no. Does this kid have a future in the game? You'd have been fucking right. He does. Are you kidding me? Look at him. But where is he now? I mean, literally, where is he now?
Yeah. So true. That is so true.
No,
I have no idea.
I believe he's getting released at the end of this summer. You know, you've as much chance of seeing him play for Paddock as you do play for United.
Do you reckon?
Well, there's 2 players that have been released from United a couple of years ago that I'm talking to.
Oh, really?
Yeah. What are you fucking about? And I've got Ronaldo absolutely rinsing his phone book for all his mates.
Just how quick things can turn in football.
Yeah.
The league that we're going to be going into, Larnell Cole plays in.
That's mad.
Larnell Cole, who made his debut for Fergie, he's same year as Lingard and Pogba, I think. I'm sure he was in their team, wasn't he? Sure he won the FA Youth Cup in that team. Yeah. He was around that team anyway.
Yeah.
He plays in the league we're going in.
What the fuck?
There's no fucking mugs in this league, mate.
Him, I think.
Yeah.
What the fuck? That is mad.
Yeah, Demi Mitchell as well. I think Mitchell. I don't think you'll see Mitchell playing for Paddock. I think he'll be fine. I think he'll get a club, not a danger. But there's some kids. I mean, Ronaldo, you're one of them. No, you don't get a full-time contract, or your contract expires, and you go move on to pastures new. And there's quite a lot of kids who will never look back. AlphaTauri is not one of them players that we are looking at. No. Borthwick Jackson, if Van Gaal stayed, could have been a top-class left-back. He could have easily been a squad player, I think. Yeah. The way he was going, easily could have been a squad player.
Yeah.
Here we go. Ashley says, Greenwood 19, soon same age Marshall was when he signed for us, and he's played quite regularly. There's a possibility he can take that starting spot. Always.
Definitely.
Like, football can move like that. I mean, you're an injury away from your career being over.
Yeah, definitely.
True.
I mean, like Greenwood, how much did he bag? He bagged like 12 goals this season.
You need things to go your way in football, man.
Which like shows the stats for that age, at that age is just a joke, really. And like once he gets more and more experience behind him, and once he gets more creativity around him as well, I could see him getting next season. I could definitely see him getting like 15, 20 goals a season. Well, next season that is, if he keeps up the potential he's been showing, because he's just been phenomenal since he's been in the team.
Yeah, he's been great. And I think if you'd have said at the start of the season how many goals you think Greenwood's getting, you would have gone, I don't know, maybe like 5.
Yeah.
What's he on, 12, 14, something like that, is it?
Yeah, I think he got 12 in the league, something like that.
I
can't remember.
Yeah, he's on 12. He's on 12. No, it's not 12 in the league. It's 5 in the league, 5 in Europa, in 5 games.
Yeah.
1 in the Johnson's Paint, which were not included in the total, but 1 in the FA Cup, 1 in the League Cup. 12 goals. Are you kidding me? And you've not even been close to being first choice. Come on, son.
But Greenwood, he's played 30 plus games, but like the minutes, been low minutes, so it's a good return still.
Yeah.
Yeah, his return per minute is sensational.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's absolutely sensational, his return per
Yeah.
minute. What effect, Yusuf says, what effect will Brexit have on transfers? Fuck knows. I don't think you know what effect Brexit's going to have on anything.
Fuck knows.
Dan James has 6 assists. Dan James is, if his form would have done the other thing, where it had started off slowly and hit the heights latterly, and he had done the sort of assist that he has done, I think people would feel a lot different about him. But I feel like because his momentum's faded, which is understandable in your first season. Yeah, I think, you know, I think he, again, much like, and probably different too, but much like if you've got McTominay in your squad, then having someone like Dan James in your squad as an impact sub, which is what I think he should have been in the first place, I think you're doing all right.
I mean, I think we've seen loads of youngsters having like a slow time in their first season as well, haven't we? I mean, we can't really expect much of him because I think he was originally brought in to be a squad player. So last season, we were kind of using him in a way that wasn't really expected of him. And to have those expectations on a player so young is hard mentally and physically sometimes. And then hence why you see him like step up a bit towards the end of the season. Well, that's my theory anyway. But I think if you got a few bodies around him, then I think he would excel because that's what he was brought in for, to be a squad player.
What do you think on Zlatan still playing? Guy's a fucking animal, isn't he? He's been better in his 30s and beyond since he was.
Health is wealth.
Yeah, I think I've frozen.
Yeah, you have.
All right, well, on that note, it's a good time to wrap it up. But I enjoyed that. It was a good little session. Bit of a Q&A. Cheers for tuning in. Make sure to subscribe. There's things that's happening in the works, which hopefully we can tell you about very, very soon. But it's very exciting. And I mean on the pitch as well as off the pitch, because obviously we find out tonight what's going on with Paddock FC, and we will let you guys know. And then for everybody that's been asking about recruitment and this, that, and the other, we are recruiting hard. We expect to have another mass trial before we finalise what's going to be our squad. Ronaldo reckons his kids coming down and playing, so we're going to have Rivaldo and Ronaldo in the same squad, which is fucking belting. And I guess I can't wait to get started. It's going to be a right laugh. But, you know, we would love to see as many of you down at the games as we can. And just enjoy the journey, because it's going to be a fucking right good journey. But cheers for tuning in. Cheers for joining us today. Make sure to subscribe. Go check out these lads over on the socials. You can find them pretty easily. It's Omar Garrick and Ronaldo Brown, or John if he's ordering takeaway. And we will see you guys in the next one. Laters.
Later.